So, like many of you, I just got into streaming a little bit ago. I've been researching for hours and hours, days and days, gone, nothing else productive, trying to figure out the correct gear I need. After much deliberation, I finally figured it out, and I'm assuming a lot of you guys are trying to figure it out yourselves, and that's why you're here. So, I'm going to make your lives as easy as possible. For just getting into streaming, we're going to go over the best possible setup to save as much money as possible while still getting a relatively decent quality. So stick around. We're going to go through the microphone, power supply, streaming software, everything you could possibly need to get started. Alright, so the first thing we're going over now is probably the most overlooked piece in the whole setup. A lot of people will just use the one attached to their headsets, the one attached to their webcam, whatever it is. Audio. You can get a really cheap condenser microphone for like $30 on Amazon, and it may not be the best quality, but it's certainly going to be a lot better than whatever microphone you have on your headset or whatever's attached to your webcam or whatever you have. It'll definitely be a step up from that. Audio is one of the most important things. Many people will click off of a video or click away from a stream if you sound like you're talking into a tin can, and the tin can has been crushed and crumpled and then expanded several times over. The one I have for you today is the newer NW800. It looks like a pimp's microphone because it's all not real gold, obviously, but gold colored. It is a condenser microphone. So if you don't know what that means, for how these microphones work is they have a very, very, very quiet input. That'll be mic input. So they need to go into something like a mixer or a power supply at the very least so they can get powered, and it'll turn it into a signal your computer can pick up. This microphone, when ordered on Amazon, you can choose the option to have it come with a boom arm. Very cheap, very effective, not the best quality, so you have to take care of it. However, it also comes with a spider cage, is what I like to call it, and you get a nice little foam filter, so that'll expand the lifespan of the microphone so you don't keep spitting into it, and it'll just make those P, S's, and T sounds a lot more subtle and soft and not as distracting. However, again, this is a condenser microphone, so you will need a power supply. Your power supply is going to be like, look at one of these. It's called phantom power. What it does is it outputs 48 volts through the circuitry of the microphone so it can accept and distribute a computer readable input, I guess is the best way to put it. These types of microphones are XLR, so you will need an XLR cable. This one I got for real cheap, comes with one, so you don't have to worry about it, and it comes with specifically an XLR to auxiliary input cable. So how it works is you have an XLR cable coming from your microphone, or in this case, this microphone has XLR going from the microphone into the power supply, and then from the power supply out into auxiliary. Okay, so this is a quick little test of what you can expect in the newer NW800. A lot of this mic is going to have to be edited in post because it is very quiet, even when it's running through the phantom power supply like I have it hooked up. And that can be a problem because the more you increase the volume, you increase the decibels, the more static, the more background noise you're going to have to hear. So there is software to get around that rather easily in OBS, in Streamlabs OBS, which we'll get to later. However, it does mean it'll be more compressed and you're taking away the already not wonderful audio quality. In case anybody was wondering, this is what it sounds like with the filter covering the microphone. It's not going to be a whole lot different. A cheap little piece of foam surrounding your microphone is not going to improve audio quality. However, I cannot stress this enough, even this little guy is way better than any microphone you're using if it's attached to a headset or webcam or anything like that. Audio is a very high priority on the list, and until you can save up for a better one in the $100 to $200 range, this is definitely going to get you by. So I've disconnected the newer microphone. I'm currently not using my AKG microphone. This is for context what it sounds like from the microphone of my camera. This is a GoPro Hero 7. GoPros are great, however, they're not renowned for their audio quality. This is what you can expect if you use a webcam mic or a headset mic. This may be even on the better end. Depending on the quality of your headset or your webcam, those could be even worse. So now that we have microphones and audio covered, let's move on to cameras and the actual recording devices. For those of you who are trying to stream your Xbox or PlayStation or whatever console games, you're going to have to make room for one more expense in the budget, and that is a capture card. These guys are a bit on the expensive side. This one is the Elgato HD60S, by far the most popular one. Good middle ground as far as budget goes. It's not going to do 4K, but it's going to get you quality 1080p, 60 FPS content straight to your computer with HDMI pass-through, which means you can take your system into the card and back out of the card into your monitor with zero delay, and then you have a feed from the card going into your computer so you can record and stream from there. So it's very simple to set up. Once you snag one, all you got to do is take an HDMI cable from your console to the input. You're going to have to take another HDMI cable from the output to your monitor. That's the pass-through. And then you're going to have to plug in a USB-C cable into your computer, which will allow the signal to basically be sent into your computer and into OBS. So I'm putting webcams in the list because I think for a lot of people, they may be required, or some people really want to have a webcam. I don't think it's required to start streaming though. When I first started streaming, making videos, I did not have a webcam and I was okay with it. I feel like not having one didn't hold me back or hinder me a whole lot. If you have the extra money to go for a webcam, do it. However, like this microphone, I would not recommend getting a budget one. Go for something good quality, however, don't break the bank. If you're spending more than $100 on it, it's too much. You can get a nice 1920 by 1080p webcam for currently like $70 maybe at most. If you want to go down to 720p, that's totally fine. Your webcam's only going to take up, this much space. So you can get a 720p webcam for like $50, $60. Logitech is probably the best way to go. I've searched tirelessly for other webcam brands, and they all have iffy reviews, and a lot of them are the cheap Chinese knockoffs. Avoid those at all costs. Just make sure it has good reviews, it's reputable, and it's not a knockoff brand. Okay, so arguably the most important piece of software you need is going to be a program called OBS. It's free, open source, all that good stuff. So there are variations of OBS for streaming. You can stream with the default OBS. I did for a while. However, if you like to put in overlays and stuff like that, I currently don't have any on display being used. But this program, this version, Streamlabs OBS, makes it a lot easier to get those. So if you want to start with overlays, like when you see new donation, webcam orders, stuff like that, you go up here to themes, and you can search by all these. If you want to pay for a monthly fee, you can get Prime. However, life hack, you just type free in here, you can get a list of all the free overlays available. And there's a good few. 13 pages of free. If you really want one that's animated, and filter that here too. Theme type, just check animated. And there are obviously less free animated ones. However, 4 pages is still a good amount. With these, you're going to get things like webcam borders, chat boxes, overlays up on the top to display whatever you have in mind. You're also going to get starting soon and be right back screens. However, I would recommend against the starting soon screen, because a lot of people will see a starting soon screen when they log on, and they're going to head out as soon as they see that. Before we get to the editor, we have the layout editor. For this, you can choose how you want things displayed, different elements you can add into it. I like mine the way I have it, so I'm not going to touch anything there. Alright, so for me, I have the mini feed, which shows any recent followers, likes, that kind of stuff, donations, whatever. You have all your sources that are in your video feed, different scenes available here, and your mixer is all your audio related stuff. So you want to change what you got going on, you can save different ones. These are going to be different variations. You can have different themes, different setups. You want to stream different games and have different themes going on, stuff like that. We'll just stick with the default one I have going on right here. This is pretty simple. This is what I had for a while before I started getting themes. You have your different audio input settings. The one I have labeled headphones is going to be any sound that were to come in from my headphones will be picked up in OBS. So to adjust that sort of thing, go to properties, audio output capture, make sure you have one of those in there. And there you go. Choose whatever you want it to come through. To add things to your scenes, or your sources, sorry, you just click this plus button, you add whatever it is you want. This is where you choose things. You want just an image overlay, color source, window capture, video capture device, like a capture card, like an Elgato. Audio output capture, like the headphones I just mentioned. Audio input capture, like this microphone right over here. All that good stuff. And then you have the widgets. These are what separates OBS from Streamlabs OBS, are the themes and the widgets. The widgets are different things you can have that are like overlays that are specifically for interacting with your audience. So alert box is essential. So you get a follow, sub, whatever. There's going to be an alert that comes up on your stream. Donation goals, bit goals, all that sort of thing. It's live stuff that interacts with your audience. You can also get your viewer count here. You can do that for YouTube and Twitch, both of those, or Mixer. However, Mixer dead now, so RIP. And that is basically the essence of Streamlabs OBS. There are tons of videos, lots of information on how to fully go in depth to set this up. I just wanted to do a brief overview so you know what software you need to get started. Once you've played around with your settings in the Streamlabs, you're going to need to actually hook it up to your Twitch account. This is assuming you've made your Twitch account already. Once you have, go over to settings over here. You're going to go to stream. You can enable multi-stream if you wish. Select what you're streaming to, and it'll ask for your stream key, which you get off your Twitch account. Slap it in, you're good to go. Alright guys, there you have it. We went over everything you need on the cheapest budget to get started streaming on Twitch or YouTube or whatever you prefer. This method also allows you to record and stream at the same time, or just record videos if you want to go straight to YouTube and not worry about live streaming. That's totally fine. We covered your microphone. Make sure you have a newer NW800 unless you want to go to the next step, which we'll talk about in another video. You're going to want a webcam to be on your list of things you get, however, it's not required, especially if you're just doing YouTube. You need to remember, if you're a console gamer, to grab your capture card. You're going to need to get Streamlabs OBS. There are other streaming platforms to use, like just regular OBS or Stream Elements OBS. They're all variations of OBS because OBS is a free open source software to record your screen and send output to Twitch or YouTube or whatever. I think we covered everything. If you guys have any questions, please leave a comment below. I spent, like I said in the beginning, hours and hours researching these things. I'm by no means an expert on anything I've discussed. However, I know enough to get by, and that's really all you need. And I want to share what I have learned through all this research so you guys don't have to go through the same headache. With that being said, I'll catch you guys in the next one, where we're going to go over a better setup once you've got established and you are confident you want to keep going with this. Until then, catch you later.